The bell clanged, a harsh, brassy cry that pierced the night's inky blanket. Jack O'Malley, a fireman hardened by years of battling flames, felt a familiar surge of adrenaline. But tonight something was different. A cold dread seeped into his bones as he and his crew raced towards the old, abandoned house at the edge of town. The house was a gaunt, skeletal structure against the starless sky. As they approached, a thick, acrid smoke billowed from its shattered windows, carrying with it an unfamiliar scent, a metallic tang that curdled the blood. Inside, the house was a labyrinth of shadows and disorienting angles. The heat was oppressive, a furnace stoked by an unseen fire. The men worked with grim efficiency, their axes biting into timber, water gushing in torrents. Yet, as they fought the blaze, a sense of wrongness grew upon them. It was in the basement that the horror unfolded. The fire had carved a cavernous space into the earth, its walls slick with soot and bearing the grotesque etchings of an unknown script. And there, in the heart of the inferno, stood a thing that defied description. It was a colossal, shapeless mass, a mountain of writhing, amorphous flesh that pulsed with an inner light. Its surface was a patchwork of eyes, each one a black void that seemed to peer into the soul. Tentacles, like the arms of a drowning man, thrashed wildly, their ends tipped with razor-sharp claws. A scream ripped through the air, a sound of mortal terror that chilled Jack to the bone. It was his partner, swallowed by the monstrous thing. The creature turned its unblinking gaze upon the remaining fireman. In that moment, time seemed to slow, and the world contracted to the monstrous figure, and the fear in Jack's own eyes. A desperate instinct for survival kicked in. With a strength born of terror, Jack grabbed an axe and hurled it with all his might. It buried itself deep into the creature's mass, but it was like striking a water-filled sack. The thing merely shuddered and continued its advance. Then, a miracle. A fresh wave of firefighters arrived, their hoses a torrent of icy relief. The creature seemed to recoil, its form flickering and distorting. It vanished as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving behind only the charred husk of the old house and an oppressive silence. Jack stumbled out into the night, his mind a maelstrom of fear and disbelief. He had seen the unnameable, a creature from beyond the stars that had chosen this forsaken house as its temporary prison. He was a survivor, but at what cost? The memory of those black, fathomless eyes would haunt him forever. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows, Jack looked back at the ruined house. A cold dread seized him. He knew that what he had seen was not gone. It was merely waiting, slumbering perhaps, until the time was right to return.